Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BetTalker, brought to you as always by BetBlocker. Today we have Joao Mar from Deal Me Out and GAMRS,
GAMRS.
GAMRS. So welcome, um, and thank you for being here. For those that don't know you, would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you end up, on this space?
First of all, Pedro, I really want to thank you for the invitation. I really enjoy what you do and what BetBlocker does. Um, you know that I use the BetBlocker, so it's important to me to be here. Um, like you said, my name is João Mar. I'm 32 years old. I I wasn't in the industry. Initially and until now I was a B2B electronics salesman. I work in the technology sector. I sell TVs, computers, everything electronics related. How I end up here basically was I had a gambling addiction. I At my 28 years old, I went to some coffees with my colleagues. It was the online gambling boom here in Portugal.
Uh-huh.
Everyone was playing on their mobiles. I was not against it, but I always even like mocked my colleagues, like will never put my money there. But one day I eventually played, and completely changed my life because when you start like I did, uh, winning like a lot of money, you instantly almost lose your life for gambling, because it triggers something in you, that all that dopamine and the probability, the expectation that you have. And I started winning like a lot, and in my mind I will always win, but it was not like that. It was pretty quick. I went from like 10, 20, 50 euro deposits to 500, 2000. Eventually I end up depositing 10K in one night.
Wow, that's
And
a lot. Yeah.
it's a lot, especially in Portugal, when you get paid like 800 euro monthly. So it's really a lot. And I thought that I had control of things, but especially on that 10K night, I understood that I needed help. I already had tried to install, example, BetBlocker. Um, it works, but people find ways to circumvent it. You really have to have that wheel of change also
Yeah,
to
we don't claim to be a silver bullet. If you want to circumvent it, there's people you just buy a new phone without the blocker. You can.
exactly.
It's you need the will, and even with the will sometimes it's not easy. Mm.
No, because I mean, in the state that I was, you can. I was diagnosed with ludopathy, so I was really. I cannot play, because if I play, I basically I spend all the money. It's
I wanted to ask you where how does it work, like sort of support services in Portugal. You said that you got the diagnosis of ludopathy, gambling disorder. What did you do? Did you went to your GP, or did you?
that's a great question, because I thought that I was completely alone and no one would care, because it's not very like advertised here in Portugal. But and that night that I lost the 10K on an illegal, because I was already excluded. I knew that I was addicted, and I excluded myself from our regulator. I I don't have nothing to say from like the legal market because all of them were very correct with me. I can name companies because they were really correct with me. Betano, BetClick, they 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 saw in my history that I was depositing a lot, and the company approached me and say, "No, you are you're not okay." So they blocked my accounts, and that's when I knew that I needed to file the permanent self exclusion for like all. So I excluded myself permanently, but I started gambling on the illegal. On that night, I deposited the 10K. I was absolutely destroyed because I didn't even have more money. That was money that I took a loan to gamble. I was already taking loans. Um, I can say to you that I took 82,000 euro of loan.
Wow, wow, that's a lot. Uh,
Yeah, and and that night I ended on the hospital because I was totally broken, and I was really proud of our services because the doctors at the Hospital San João in Porto, they did not allow me to leave the hospital. They put me on suicide prevention. The doctor said, "You're not okay. I'm not allowing you to leave here, and you're going to have the full support you need." So in Portugal, our regulator is REACH, and you have CCAD. That's the entity that people can contact to try to have a psychologist, like a doctor that supports you.
mhm.
And from that moment, I had the full support from the right institutions. I was accompanied by a doctor, a psychologist. I went to Gamblers Anonymous meetings. So it really helped me a lot because when you think you're on a huge mess and you have no way out, especially on Gamblers Anonymous, like hearing the other people's stories, it kind it's not good, very good to say this, but it brings you a little comfort that you see that's people there's people on the same situation or even worse, and you think, okay, there's maybe a solution for this, and I can get out of this. So yeah, I had a good support from our institutions.
Okay. Um, I wanted to ask you how long have you been in recovery now?
2.5 years,
2.5
probably.
years.
I stopped completely gambling like in the end of 2024.
Okay, so I've been like yeah, no, like two and a half years.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your work with the Me Out and GAMS.
Uh, yeah. So it started as a basically almost a coincidence.
Hmm.
Like I started posting my articles on LinkedIn. Some of them reached like Recent Chronicle, Faint Telegram, and another some other news websites. And Jordan Lee from Deal Me Out, he started talking with me. Said he enjoyed my work. We started talking more, cooperating in some cases, and from nowhere he just gave me a very good opportunity for. He said, "Look, we're suddenly a company that is basically doing black market research, monitoring, and doing full reports on how they operate, and we like you to invite to lead the forensics investigation team." And I was completely blown away because I I never even looked at the industry with the eyes of having like a job on the industry, but it was something that I really liked the idea because he basically said it's doing what you already do, but
Hmm.
will help you will help a lot of people, and you can talk with people and try to make them go to another route, and even maybe save some people, because you have that experience from the illegal market. So yeah, it started as a coincidence, but it was a really nice thing in my life, and I'm very thankful. I will always be. And basically, what we do is, we monitor like markets, companies that operate on the Kingdom. That's Gamer side. Deal Me Outside is a charity to support people with gambling problems, but my role is more at Gamers.
Mhm.
Uh, it's more companies that we research about anything that's interesting that comes to us as a whistleblower or as a request, but we're more focused on companies that target the addicted players, especially the ones that promote themselves or advertise as non-GameStop casinos.
Uh, what can be done? Because, for example, my main thing is like, look, I'm old enough. I remember, like, in the 2000s, you were just going to Google or whatever and say, okay, download movies, and you could download the movie straight away, but now you cannot find these sort of things when you go to Google or whatever. I suppose that, like the media industry, did some sort of work, to make sure that the search engines don't promote this type of illegal things. I suppose, I mean, my initial sort of view, is like, okay, probably like big companies, is the somehow the low hanging fruit. Some there maybe, the thing that, okay, if regulation is done right, you need to go to your main search engine and say, hey guys, you cannot have illegal stuff that come up on a search. I don't know
And
how it works, but that's my sort of initial thought. What do you think can be done, maybe to uh, make the black market less accessible?
it has to be a joint effort from everyone. The industry still sees it like we profit a lot from this, so everything is fine. I think very little is being done. It's not easy because these companies are doing a lot of black hat operations, and they basically took some domains as hostage. You can even find on Google like governmental pages that were extinguished, like being captured by these guys. You find a lot of gambling
Mhm.
advertised, especially in the UK, using like old government pages. Even on Trustpilot, you see profiles like if you go now to Trustpilot, you
Mhm.
see pages that are casinos, not on GameStop, and you have like all these pages promoting synthetic casinos like MyStake, Roleto, and all the ones
Mhm.
who operate illegally within the UK. And it's not even only Google, also Trustpilot and
Okay.
all the other servers are floated. So it's gonna be difficult, but it
Yeah, because I
has to
suppose
be.
that, you know you can get this situation that people, they just Google, okay, casinos not on GameStop, and you just get a referral to Trustpilot or whatever, and then from
Yeah.
them they can find what they're looking for. Is this somehow linked to, you know tougher regulation? In the sense that, okay, you have regulated markets, the regulation gets too tough. Uh, you know, then people, they end up in illegal casino. I don't know, like in the UK now with the tax increase and all of that. There's this sort of, conversation of, oh, this is going to be, really profitable for the illegal market because they're going to be able to have better offers, spend more money on marketing and all this sort of stuff. You know, I suppose there must be a bit of a balancing exercise to do.
It's pretty unbalanced because people are going to the illegal market for several reasons. Some of them outdated UI UX from the legal market casinos, because some people like the fastness of some black market casinos, mainly the crypto ones. That's also a team that I like to see debated, like the use of crypto on the legal market, because I will definitely think that it would ensure transparency and bring more players also to the legal market. Uh,
Okay. I mean that's surprising to hear that from someone that suffer from gambling related habits. So like, okay, a way to, you know, perhaps protect, people is to allow them to do what they want to do in a legal environment.
yeah, definitely, because if you go to the illegal market, there's no way back. Even after the changes in Curacao, most of the operators don't do a simple KIC check. They, you can, most of the websites, you can say you were born in 100 years ago and they accept it. You can put everything fake and they accept it. The problem is to withdraw. So they don't care. And returning to the subject, it's not only outdated UI UX. Some people also want to avoid taxes. For example, you you you, you have to see it like this. Some people, not some people, most of the people go to the illegal market because they are already addicted and are excluded from the legal. That's the probably the biggest percentage you have on the illegal market, and they knew that most of the companies on the black market industry, they are really successful, and they probably could get a license on some of the local jurisdictions they operate, but they know they profit more like this. They don't pay taxes. They took advantage of people with uh, already self-excluded on their country. So probably the biggest percentage and the main reason it's to take advantage of people suffering from gambling addiction.
Okay, so there's a bit like, what I'm hearing from you. There's two parts. There's the part of the player. That they may choose to go to the unregulated market for several reasons. One can be that they're already self-excluded. The other one is, okay, they may like the UX, or the using crypto or whatever. And then there's the side, of the operator. That what I'm hearing from you is that, okay, the operators in the black market, okay, is really profitable, and even if they could potentially get a license, they're rather not doing it because of all the inconveniences and loopholes that they will have to go to, and on conducting the business in a responsible way.
Yeah, and most of them are already full of fines and sanctions on the countries they operate. So it would be a very difficult situation. Um,
Okay. So what do you think can be done, to improve the situation? Because I mean, like, I don't know, like illegal black market always existed, and when you see with other.
the the only thing that could be made, it's authorities and regulators work together, like really work together. Like I don't know if you saw that in France recently, they took down a network of illegal casinos operating under Curacao license. They were able to reach to the UBOs of that offshore business, and it was a joint operation from several authorities like France, Belgium, the Interpol. So it was proof that when they want it, they can do it. So, and from the moment that authorities start to, for example, what moves the illegal market? What is one of the big hearts of the illegal market on the UK? The affiliate market. I don't like to put blames on anyone, but
Mhm.
there's companies doing right and wrong everywhere. Uh, I think the affiliate industry needed more regulation and a change. You see a lot of companies hiring streamers, influencers, celebrities, and promoting gambling, illegal gambling everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, doing lives on Twitch, on Kick. I know it's nice to get, you have a normal life and you starting getting paid like a whole lot of money, but is it really worth it when you're taking like 40% of the people's losses? Is it really worth it to winning with the other people's pain? Uh, I mean, it has to have another controller from the affiliate industry. So uh, if the authorities somehow started taking these people to court, I think things would change probably. But now it's so much impunity that it's not really there's not really a way to stop it. We have to deal with it, and we have to do the best work we can, exposing rogue companies. We're trying everything we can. We report them to authorities, regulators. We even payment providers are probably also one of the biggest
Should,
problems.
shouldn't be this the work of the regulator? Because it seems a bit like vigilante regulator stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, like it's good, that maybe you're helping. Do they like your help? If you go to a regulator, is it welcome, or how they normally receive it when you flag stuff?
the problem with the regulator and most of the regulators, not
Mm.
only UK and Portugal, it's they have like the competences, like they're graduated, they have university and all those skills, but they're not really on the field. They don't have that experience, or they don't know the companies they're dealing with. Most of them don't even know where to send a letter to issue a fine. There you can see all this those different like ACMA on Australia. It's one of the regulators that send most of the warnings, and you can see that the inconsistency of the companies they send the warnings. They don't even know if it's the right company. So the illegal markets, they create so many offshore companies. They constantly change names to avoid these kind of things. So they make it really hard to enforce those kind of things.
Mm.
But if you do a nice research, you can reach to the right people, like we did on the MyStake report. And
Mhm.
if the authorities want, they can do something about it, because you have a lot of things there, especially regarding affiliates, payment providers. Most of the illegal market operators use UK payment providers. So
Uh, quick question, because before you were talking about affiliates,
yeah,
and it's a bit like, okay, do you think that maybe affiliates should have like their own license, to be able to, and okay, if you're advertising some companies that you shouldn't be advertising in a particular country, then okay, you may lose your uh like.
they definitely should have, like, I mean, in Portugal, affiliates have to have a license to do what they do,
Mhm.
and they can only promote regulated operators. So usually, if a company is doing that in Portugal with illegal operators, they're not based here.
Okay.
So
So it would be like an
definitely should
affiliate
be.
that is based overseas and they don't care about, uh, or they may say that they're not targeting Portuguese customers.
be, the thing here is companies and people are all around the world saw that it's so easy to operate illegally that we're now floated. They even live here now, most of the illegal market companies. It's sad, but we have, uh, do you believe we have 2000 and something illegal operators uh, freely open in Portugal? You can register on more than 2000 operators. It's insane.
I I remember having a conversation, with a person that was working for, one of these operators, that get some places they have license, other places they don't. And I was, asking the person, about, okay, about social media, about influencers and all of that. And this person was saying, actually, it's a massive problem because there's a lot of people that on their own accord they just play or try to promote something, and then they come to us and say, oh, I got I don't know, 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, you should pay me, and it's like, yeah, we don't want you, it feels like it's a bit, how to say, foggy, because, okay, is there contracts, or are influencers, for example, sometimes they may not even know, about gambling related harm. They may say, oh yeah, that's a way to earn money. That should be some sort of qualification. I mean, not making it very difficult, but okay, you take a 20-year-old, okay, you cannot promote this in an irresponsible way, like, you know legal gambling companies, that they have some, marketing training, safer gambling standards and all that. I suppose that should be something similar with influencers or with, YouTubers, or this type of.
No, I know a few people that stream because I'm a gamer on esports. I really enjoy to play video games, so I watch Twitch a lot. And for what I understood from many of the lives and the people that I met, it's they only say to them to put like a responsible gaming message on the footer of their live, and they basically don't say anything more to them. Uh, Sometimes they even try to make them do things that could probably put them on uh, more danger legal wise. Most of the companies ask them to say that the operator is legal on their country. They ask them to ask people to deposit more. Um,
But I suppose, as any public person, I don't know. So I mean, like, we don't have many followers, but if somebody say, "Oh, Pedro," just imagine that we had like 1 million followers in the YouTube channel or something. Say, can you advertise this hair growing, shampoo or whatever? Probably say, "Oh, am I able to advertise this? Is this a medical product? Am I going to be liable?" I suppose that, maybe, okay, I'm older, but that 20-year-old that they have a channel and they're receiving money, and must be a shared responsibility somewhere.
and I think that's the shadiest part. It's these people, they know that they are doing wrong because there's no way of not knowing they aren't. If someone approaches me with an offer, and I'm already quite successful people with some followers,
Mhm.
I most of them even have a person to look at the deals, they have like a manager. So it's impossible. You search for these companies' names and you can tell straight away that's black market. And I know these companies, they guide you how to do things, how to sometimes even declare this as a legal profession in your country. Like in Portugal, all the illegal affiliates that operate here, from online Russian casinos and all that stuff, they guide people to tell them how they should do things so they can avoid our IRS taxes and authorities. They basically work as freelancers for marketing companies, and they know that they are doing wrong, and they know it because they're not even paid in a regular way. Most of them are paid in crypto with shady invoices like made right there. So some of them not are not even paid. You have the both sides on the illegal market industry. You have affiliates that steal from the streamers, and you have streamers that steal from the affiliates. They settle up, look, I'm paying you 200 euro to make a stream, and the streamer doesn't show up. Then you have the affiliates that steal from the streamers, and that doesn't happen on the regulated market. So
Okay. I mean, I remember, and this is a few years ago. I was working for a. I mean, it was a long time ago for a company. I mean, it was regulated. And we were talking, because we had some streamers and stuff, and I asked, does anyone, look at the channels? Do we make sure that what they're saying is compliant? Actually, there was little quality assurance, if any. So it's a bit like, okay, if you have someone that have his channel is streaming, and how do you stop someone, you know or train someone on not saying things, that can be harmful, somehow. What's the main difference that you see, for example, in streamers in legal jurisdiction versus streaming in illegal jurisdiction, or you don't look at it?
yeah, I definitely do.
Okay.
Sometimes there's people that even that they promote it, but they act so nicely and they're so compliant that I reached to a point that I even sent them a message. Look, um, you're
Good
doing
job.
great, because yeah, because they here in Portugal on the legal market, it's very controlled. It's like the tobacco industry and the alcohol industry. You can only advertise it after 10 p.m. At night, evening. You have to put responsible gaming messages. You have to say clearly that's entertainment, that you'll not make money from this.
Yeah.
Some streamers even say it, only play what you can afford to lose, because you will lose.
Yeah.
And those are very strong messages. They know they are promoting something that can lead to addiction, but on the if you play on the legal market, there's control, and if a person gets addicted or is suffering from gambling harm, here it's easy to solve, at least, because as soon as you file permanent self-exclusion, our regulator, it's all centralized. And I really think other countries should take this approach. It's a nice example. The fact of being all centralized, your NIF, your taxpayer number, it's connected to all the casinos. As soon as you file a permanent self-exclusion, the next day you receive all those emails from the operators. The accounts are all closed at the same time. You cannot gamble anymore, and if you have little money left in some accounts, they are instantly transferred to you. They cannot send you more promotional material ever. From the time of self exclusion, you can choose like 3 months, six, 1 year, 5, and permanent. I think so.
Do they route you to support services too? Do
That
they
is,
send you to, I don't know, like, to the same place? Oh, please go and speak with your GP, or go and have meeting with Gamblers Anonymous,
oh,
something like that.
if they recommend it, of course, it's the first thing. It's even mandatory to have
Okay.
the support services on the footer of the websites. All the people are trained to talk with the players with a sense of responsibility, because if something fails on the conversation, they can be taken into a legal case, even if the operator fails regarding responsible gaming. Um,
I heard. I don't know.
Again,
I don't know if this is the case, but like in Portugal, people were um, able, for example, to revoke their self exclusion. I don't know if somebody told me. I think maybe it was me like maybe 10 years ago or something like this. Someone that told me that if you're permanently self excluded, that you can ask the government to remove you from permanent self exclusion or something like that.
yeah, but it's going to be analyzed. You have to show that they have to see that your life is doing good. You
Okay,
have no debts. You're doing fine.
I guess
Uh,
something must have changed, because I remember that somebody told me that, oh yeah, you just do this and they get removed, and so that it doesn't make
you,
sense. Why
you
would you
can't.
have them permanent self exclusion if you can remove yourself from permanent self exclusion?
I mean, you can request it, but
Mhm. But you may
it's
not
like
get it. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That makes really sense. What sort of things? Because I remember that last year or the year before, I attended a conference that Jordan was organizing about the black market and all that. Do you have any plans in the near future? Any work that you're doing? Any reports that you're planning to publish?
Yeah, we're working on several things. I cannot speak of
Okay.
some of them, but one of the main things we are working right now, and we already have it not completed, but in development. The app is already made. It's a huge database with data from all the black market operators, not only operators and black market, but general, but operators, affiliate game providers, even regulators, and we are going to monitor each and every one, each and every company, to see if they are following compliance, and if they have any sanctions, any fines, if they operate legally in the UK. So it's going to be a accreditation and monitoring program. So if companies are doing good within the UK, they will get our approval seal.
Mhm.
If they have some problems, they will get a warning, and if they are completely operating and like almost black market operators, that's the possibly most shady way ever. They'll get the non-approval, and we are trying to do a full report on each and every one, each and every company.
Okay.
We are, yeah, yeah, go on.
Sorry, how would that work? So you have, I don't know, like I don't know, a company in the UK that say, hey, we want to go through your accreditation, and then you just check that they not doing anything, or they don't have any relationship with the black market, and then you sort of say, okay, you thumbs up, or
Initially, we are really putting everything up. Companies are not really approaching us because this will not be a business.
okay, so you basically check them, and then you put the outcome without engage proactively with them. It's like you do like
If a
your checks.
company wants to cooperate and
Okay.
be full transparent with us and show us everything, we are glad
Okay.
to
Okay.
work in that
So
way. But
it's a bit
there's no
like
cooperation.
a rating of the companies or something like this, like an independent. Okay.
It's really more monitoring. It's not like something to promote
Okay.
companies, or it's really to have a database of it's
And
everything.
for example, so imagine that, okay, there's a company that is red or something and they want to improve or something like that. It's okay, you know,
They can contact us and say,
okay.
look, we changed this and this, and we will review it. Or they can even contact us to say, look, how can we improve this?
Okay.
But most of them will be certainly black market operators, so it's pretty difficult to. But I have that in the past. Look, I was contacted by I had a dispute with a
Mhm.
very well-known casino, and I cannot name the company, but a
Mhm.
huge compliance company from Curacao, with the Portuguese regulator in CC and the Curacao regulator in CC. They asked, they said, we are going to talk with the operator because they were acting illegally here in Portugal,
Mhm.
and they asked me directly, what can we do to operate in a decent way in Portugal, and how can we prevent this? And I, I, I just told them, you have to check everyone that works with you, see if they are geo blocking the websites, see if they are accepting Portuguese. If an operator, if you're managing an operator that allows a Portuguese player to register, if the flag and the phone number is on the registry, it's already a felony. There's no way of avoiding this. So, and they knew this. They know this. It was only to act nicely in front of regulators, because I don't really think they wanted to change anything. I
Mhm.
mean, they geo blocked it, and they even removed the Portugal from the registration, and that's still on until now. So we were able to shut that casino down in Portugal and in the UK.
Mhm.
So it was nice, but most of the managing companies don't have powers over the operators. They're only a statutory, or just a name on the paper, basically. Uh,
Mhm.
but some of them do have power within the operator, and those are the ones we try to call the attention. Most of our work, it's basically contacting every company involved with illegal gambling on the operator. We contact game providers, payment providers. I mean, if the regulator isn't doing the enough job, we have to do it. I know it's not fully part of our competences, but as a team, uh, almost all of our team were are ex-addicted players, so we understand what people are going through, and it's not easy to wake up and have my inbox full of people suffering, saying they're going to take their lives, saying they're basically hostage of the casino. I mean, it totally breaks me. So everything I can do to prevent that, even if I not getting paid by it, I will do it. Uh, uh, for example, with my stake, it started because we're getting flooded with messages of people. They're all on GameStop. They're all being aggressively recruited to those kind of casinos,
Mhm.
and the way they are dealt with, it's the most shady way. We're talking at companies that don't process their deposits as gambling. They process their deposits as even food. Uh, I recently saw that some black market operators are accepting food cards as payment method. You can spend your work food money on illegal gambling. So if if something really has changed, like the payment providers have to take some blame here.
Yeah,
Visa
but
and Mastercard made an
this,
announcement many
this
years ago.
is
Yeah,
this is a
go.
big thing. It's like, okay, actually, is this sort of thing that they say follow the money.
I think it's even more shady because some people already have their traditional banking methods blocked.
Mhm.
So allowing to deposit with a food card, it's a very perverse
Mm, I
way
agree.
to circumvene it. So yeah, there's many perverse things in here that need to change. Not only affiliates, operators, also the payment providers. There has to be a more strict regulation regarding this. We cannot have all these UK companies processing deposits from black market and everything is okay. Look, if you have a business and you're constantly processing 5k, 10k, 20k payments from different countries, I am definitely sure that you are going to have problems. So how 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 these companies are impune until now, I cannot understand it. Um, it's something that I will never understand. I know the illegal industry, they create these companies in Cyprus. You
Mhm.
can see that the license is always Curacao and João, Tobique,
Mm,
Vanuatu, wherever. But they always open a company in Cyprus to have access to European banking
mm,
and to have the accounts. So why don't the authorities make something cooperation with the Cyprus authorities to regulate more of this? I mean, you have one unique country that is basically facilitating all these illegal deposits
mm,
because the payment providers, uh, if the casino doesn't have a European or UK bank account, they cannot do anything,
mhm,
only crypto deposits. So if the main core of an addicted player, they look for the instant. They want to play immediately. They want to deposit right away. If the casino doesn't allow a easy way to deposit or instant, they'll not play. So I definitely think that one of the main reasons are the payment providers. I mean, they're all wrong,
mhm.
but the company allowing and processing the deposits is definitely one of the wrongest.
Joao, I also wanted to ask you because you mentioned gaming. That you are a gamer. You know, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the overlap sometimes between gaming and gambling, and this is something that sometimes I'm really concerned because you see gaming and you see features that they are uncomfortably close, and you get like really young people that they are very used to this sort of mechanics, and then okay, when they're 18, okay, this is free for all, and it's like, okay, shouldn't we start preventing earlier?
We should definitely, and that's a really nice theme to approach because it's very present now in my life. I'm a Counter Strike player for like 20 years now, and Counter Strike 2, it's flooded with gambling stuff now, and most of my plays with teammates and even on live stream, it's like recently educating them because I'm present on those live streams on Twitch, and they started. they start to open loot box and to enter on all these gambling websites that allow you to exchange those loot boxes and instantly gamble as a casino. And then I tell them my story, and they start to rethinking all those things. I was even able to, like, 4 or 5 streamers stopped promoting CS gamble websites because of my lived experience, and that's something I really enjoy. And this is a theme that should be more debated, because what I understand about this is most of the kids start gambling from the gaming industry, from games like
Yeah.
Counter Strike, games that allow you to buy loot boxes and exchange. That system is very dangerous. What I think that should be made is all those companies should require a KIC verification to to see if it's a kid. I mean, you cannot allow a kid to exchange skins for money.
Mm,
That's not even valid.
mm.
You see, it's a real problem.
Yeah, I mean, I see two things here. I think, okay, if if a video game has gambling features, they should have a gambling license. And then with all the things that this, and the other thing that I wanted to ask you a little bit, because you said that you have been a Counter Strike player, for 20 years. It's like, the first thing that I thought is like, because you read research that say, okay, like, uh, excessive gaming could be a vulnerability factor for gambling. What are your thoughts on that?
No, uh, I mean,
Hmm.
I was born in a gold time. I was born in '93.
Hmm.
I started gaming with my father,
Okay.
PlayStation 1.
Hmm.
The gaming in the esports industry was really, really nice until like 2015. Then the gambling industry starting to wrecking the the gaming industry. As soon as all these features were available, the gambling industry saw an opportunity. With the loot boxes boom, all the gambling industry folks saw an opportunity to open these websites and operate on the, let's call it, the gray market of things, because most of these websites are on a limbo on most of the countries. Like, you cannot, there's no regulation for this in Portugal, there's no regulation for this in most of the countries. You can consider it illegal, but as far as I know, no one is really looking up to this kind of websites. It's like almost sweepstakes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gray area, and probably regulator, they already have their hands full, so it's a bit like, okay, we have
One
a
thing
lot
that
of.
should be implemented, and it's what being discussed and involve the company that created Counter Strike. It's
Mhm.
under a huge scrutiny. That's verify the age of the people that are buying the loot boxes. Uh, account of a minor should not be able to do those things, because there's a very thin line between buying those boxes on Counter Strike and then go instantly to the websites, because they're kids. They are
Mhm.
seeing streamers on Twitch with all those viewers, and all the streamers have the link to the Counter Strike websites and the skins websites, and
Yeah,
then
it's a very complex problem. It's a bit like, and it's, I suppose that even like big, because gaming companies, they, I think I read somewhere that it's 10 times bigger than all the other entertainment industries, like bigger than music, bigger than cinema, bigger than. So suppose that it must be really difficult to you know, regulate them, if they don't see, politicians breathing behind their shoulders,
It's a difficult subject, but I think that some things will definitely change because they are already being widely talked about. Not only Counter Strike, like Roblox.
Oh yeah, that's horror stories, yeah.
Yeah, I recently even saw that they have a casino inside the game.
I heard that in a podcast somewhere, like I don't know, like maybe like 6 months ago or something, and I was like, oh my god, like Roblox casino and all that. I I didn't dig deeper, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if this is true or not, you know.
No, it's
Uh,
definitely true. I saw
oh
it live. So
wow.
this was made on the past on a few games
Mm,
also, but gambling wasn't uh, in this boom that it is now, because I don't know how it's going on some countries, but here in Portugal the situation is so critic that you go to complaints websites like Portal da Queixa, that's one of our biggest complaints websites, and
mhm,
you see uh, teachers from school complaining that their kids are gambling at 12, 13, 14 years old on those they go to every casino in Portugal have a complaint page, even
mhm,
the illegal ones. I know it's surreal. It's an I don't think it's a normal thing. I already filed I can say three criminal complaints against that company because I don't think it's normal to have a complaints website that has a list of the best illegal market casinos that goes against the promoting rules in
mhm,
Portugal. It goes against our, it's called the RGO, the regime of online gambling.
mhm,
You cannot promote illegal companies, and people sometimes go there to search. Like it's a complaints website to protect the people, but the fact that that rank is there available, I know that because I ended up on that website when I was complaining about some casinos,
mhm,
and I eventually gambled on some because of that was available there. And the shadiest part is you see a lot of teachers saying that their kids are gambling on that operator, and the answers from the support teams of those casinos are insane. They clearly don't care. And the problem that I see more recently is women are getting more quickly addicted than men. It's not more quickly, but they're going to the extreme more quickly. With the idea that they can give a better life to their family and children. And that's something you can check quickly because most of the complaints right now there are
mhm,
from women, and the stories are really heartbreaking.
mhm,
We have a, I don't know if you saw it. I published. I still need to publish the full video.
mhm.
Um, our newspaper, Revista Sábado, and the Canal Now, they made
I think I saw something that there's a documentary or something about
they made
gambling.
a
Yeah.
made an awesome documentary. They showed everyone that basically promotes illegal gambling in Portugal, and there's a very heartbreaking interview there with a mother
Mhm,
that the whole family is addicted. When I say the whole family, there there are two. One is 12 years old, the other is 14 years old. Their two kids are gambling on offshore casinos with that age. She gets to 2,000 euros monthly, and they all
I mean,
spend every
this
time on gambling.
it sounds a bit like a systemic problem. Again, even if like if you're a parent, you should do something about it, even if you're experiencing yourself the problem, But I suppose that the situation must be really complex and really
I also
messed
felt
up.
really wrong. I wanted to shout many
Mm,
things against
mm.
the parents, but
No, I
at the
mean,
same
it
time,
must
I
be a completely, you know,
I never saw such.
difficult situation, and they may need help from social services and all that because it sounds, really, really. I mean, I haven't watched it, so I cannot properly comment on that. But it sounds like a really extreme situation. Uh,
It
Joao,
is, and then the worst part is those casinos know that that family is on that situation, and they reopen their accounts like 5 or 6 times though.
Joao, we coming to the hour mark, So, do you think that we have missed any main topic, or there's anything that you would like to add to our conversation?
Um, I mean, the only thing I need to add is this industry needs more talks like this and more talking about the problems. Really, I see all these podcasts is people talk all flowers and all the nice things and always the same things, and there's need to be really a change. We need to be more human to each other. If everyone starts cooperating against this, I mean, really everyone, we can stop this, or maybe not stop, but to make things better. Like, how can I explain this to you? For example, in the UK right now, even with the tax raises,
Mhm,
I think that we can push people to the legal market, because
mhm,
if people see the histories of what's happening now within the legal market, what people are suffering, I think that the legal market could benefit. I think that things should be talked more. Uh,
mhm,
the industry should show more the effects of the illegal market, or even not even the illegal market, like gambling without responsibility. So just like tobacco, alcohol, more responsible gaming messages should be shown. Uh, Even in sports, the fact that all those advertisers for gambling companies are present, it's not all it's not great. Also, because many people suffering from addiction watch those shows, watch those sports, even on news channels, TVs, or random channel TVs. The advertising is really strong. Here in Portugal, you have 15 minutes of advertising between shows, and you can see like more than 20 casino advertising. And it's really difficult to a person to be passing for suffering from gambling addiction, and not even to be able to watch normal TV
mhm,
without getting bombarded and seeing all those things.
mhm.
Yes.
So, where people can find more about your work?
Uh,
LinkedIn, any? Do you have
my
any
LinkedIn,
social
my
media?
LinkedIn, my Instagram, but I'm more focused on LinkedIn right now, because it was the place that basically allowed me to change my life, and where I'm seen the most. So, and companies, LinkedIn is a professional network. Companies take it very serious, and that's the reason why I use it, because I was able to change many things because of LinkedIn. Even I can confess you this: I was even able to solve many ADR disputes uh, because of LinkedIn. There was were cases with players that were basically hopeless, and with a simple article or even a LinkedIn comment, we were able to recover a 22K for a player with a LinkedIn comment that the company approached us and said, "Look, we are willing to settle everything with the player if we don't have this exposition, this exposure anymore." So I and I we have you asked me some time ago if we have some more difficult cases, and yeah, we have just
Mhm.
for the people, just for them to see how some operators work. I will not name them, of course, but we have a company that allow the player to gamble more than 100K, not a single KIC check, not a single source of wealth or proof of funds. The player requested the account to be closed 4 times, and we have the chat log for that. That is true, and the operator even admitted. Uh, he plays from a forbidden jurisdiction. They cannot operate there. And as soon as we engage with them, they started threatening us, stalking me. They requested several legal things, like they wanted a proof of attorney that I made. After the proof of attorney, they wanted apostolized. That's fine, we made it. They started sending legal threats and warnings to deal me out in GAMRS office. And they offered from the player spent 100K, but the dispute was 70K.
Mhm.
They offered the player 7K. After all this happened with us, they lower the offer to the player to 5K. And even after all of that, we got more people involved. The player asked for Casino Guru a cooperation also. The casino took it personally and just said to the player that since he requested our help, that none of that was on the table anymore. And they are refusing to solve it. All of this with a Curacao license that basically now it's mandatory to perform KIC. So that's a very difficult case that we are having, that everyone is refusing to cooperate. And let's see how we can handle this. We probably will have to contact the Central Bank of Curacao and the Curacao Gaming Authority, because according to the law, the new regulation, that this is was all preventable, because these are the things that have to be made now: KIC and anti-money laundering checks. So we have
Joao,
a few more, but it's too much
yeah,
to.
I bet that probably you have your hands full. So Joao, thank you very much, and best of luck. And I hope to see you guys soon in a conference or somewhere, and I'll be following your updates. Take care.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure, Pedro. Thank you.